Hi, my name is Mame-Fatou Niang. I am an associate professor of French and Francophone Studies at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My research focuses on race, immigration, and national identity in contemporary France. On April 4th, 2019, my colleague Julien Ciodo and I started a petition demanding the removal of a piece of art from the French National Assembly. The fresco by French artist Hervé de Rosa commemorated the first abolition of slavery in the French colonies, and it showed, among other details, two huge black faces with bulging eyes, oversized bright red lips, big carnivorous teeth in an imagery that borrowed directly from Tintin, Sambo, and the banana commercials. And in this piece of monitor, in monitor number 5, I will respond to the onslaught that I've endured since calling for the removal of this fresco, mainly on Twitter. My article lays bare deep issues in France's handling of its colonial history, in the making, the crafting of our national narrative, and its passing through institutions like school. A lack of humility and empathy with the issues at stake for Afro-French, as well as the very problematic space offered to Black French women in public debates, both online and offline. I am the director of Mariannes Noires, a feature-length documentary that explores what it means to be Black in France, Black and French. The documentary follows 7 French women of African and Caribbean descent who are filmmakers, dancers, entrepreneurs, and intellectuals whose Frenchness is rooted in a cultural space stretching from Republican France to Africa and its many diaspora. And the film is a mosaic of 7 narratives that raise the veil, really the veil on multicultural France. I am also the author of an incoming book titled Identité Française, Banlieue, Féminité et Universalisme, a book coming this fall with Brill. And Identité Française interrogates notions of marginalization and national identity through an analysis of the French banlieue, the French suburbs. The display of the quotidian at the expense of the extraordinary invites the reader to reconsider the most common images of these urban peripheries and the process that creates citizenship and marginality in Republican France. And in most of my work, the focus is on the female experience in works produced by writers and artists, intellectuals, who are the result of the French colonial history. And because these women sit at the intersection of marginalities of race, gender, and class. And the study of these intersections illuminate multiple notions of identity, belonging, and peripheralization. Really, since 2005, there's been a new generation of scholars, writers, artists, and activists who are really pushing toward a redefinition and a new definition of what it means to be French today. In my classes, I often have this game that I do with students. On the first day of class, I ask them to tell me what France means to them, and usually the board quickly fills up, with the typical wine, cheese, Champs-Élysées, Paris, croissants, beret, and you realize that people have a very set, what they call the French kit, right? A very set image of what Frenchness means, and that image is, has been crafted and sold through soft diplomacy, right, by the French government, and the way we teach, we talk about France, and we teach Frenchness, French literature and culture, even outside of France. And for this new generation of researchers, scholars that I'm part of, it's very important that people realize, both inside and outside the country, that Frenchness has been de facto redefined, and that we're not here to rewrite, like we hear that a lot, this accusation of, negationism, or like revisionism, that we're trying to rewrite the new national history. We just want to unveil the pieces of our history that show why, how we got here. So really, amid the contemporary flare-ups and debates and around a single and indivisible French national identity. My work, whether in film, in my research, in my academic research, in my artistic endeavor, whether in photography or in film, and also in actions such as the De Rosa issues that I talked about in this article. All this come together in a mosaic that wants to shed to light, that brings to light the plurality of Frenchness.